everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 50s Chicks podcast. I'm Anneli.
And I am Patricia.
And today we are going to talk about age gap differences in marriages.
Okay, is this OMS?
Well, it's related.
OMS.
It's related.
Good, because I like a good OMS. Like a good OMS.
Yes. However, before we do that, I guess we're going to talk about some self-care. Because self-care first.
Yes, our self-care tip for the day would be for us to be kind to ourselves. Mm-hmm. A big part of self-care is the taking care of ourselves, being compassionate, not being so hard on us. And I think I've said before, treating yourself the way you would treat a friend if they were feeling down or, feeling, having some type of negative emotion about something. You would take them out to dinner. Do nice things for them.
Yeah, nice things.
You do nice things for yourself.
It is crazy how much more, we critique ourselves so much harsher than we critique other people, really. Like,
yes, we are compassionate with other people, mm-hmm. and we treat ourselves like.
Yeah, we really do.
So you need to, be kind to yourself, be compassionate, show some self-compassion.
Yes.
Yes.
And
we'll go with that.
I like it. Yes. So now we're going to talk about age differences in marriages and how does that really work is the question. We're basing this off of a Reddit story that they since erased. So I'm going to read just a part of the Reddit story that we still have. It is called Age Gap Marriages Only, Be Honest. She says, I'm in an age gap marriage. We started dating when I was 21 and he was 45.
Crazy.
Now we've been together like 11 years, and I'm wondering, who can honestly say there's no power imbalance or manipulation in your marriage? I used to think that people who told me how toxic an age gap marriage can be were just jealous. I thought everything was fine. Then I went to therapy and I realized how fucked up my marriage is. He's alienated me from having any friends or close family, so I had no sense of how much I'm just a doormat and how toxic the relationship has become. So that's the part that I was able to rescue from the Reddit. And then, of course, there were a lot of really, really good responses to this particular Reddit story. But I think that that's been our contention the whole time, is that there is a power imbalance.
Yes,
especially with the older, I'm going to say more with the older man and the younger.
Well, it's
woman,
a different
right?
type. There's a power imbalance with either genders.
Maybe either way.
Yeah, there is.
Because even if the older woman is also going to have, she's going to have the money, she's going to have the stability and the house, and that creates that power imbalance.
Right.
Either
but
way.
I think it's different, though. It is an imbalance, but the dynamic is different when it's the older man and the younger girl.
Relationships with big age gaps don't work. It's not because there is necessarily a chasm in the way these two people feel. It's that there is a huge chasm when it comes to their relationship competence and their experience, and that really does matter. They either have to learn through you, which is going to be a painful process. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. They're going to hurt you a lot in the process. You're going to have to be careful of avoiding the role of teacher and try and be equals in a situation that's inherently kind of unequal. And you're going to have to hope that they do learn those skills. You're making quite a big bet on the idea that one day they will have that skill set. Some people take most of their lives to get it. And some people never learn it because they're not the kind of people that want to grow and be self-aware and do the work. And so is it about meeting the right person, or is it about being the right time?
I love one of the responses here. She goes, older women telling you to avoid older men are not jealous.
Absolutely.
We've been where you are and want to save you the pain from the power imbalance. Like how you feel about your sister. We don't want those weirdos.
Any man with the mindset that he thinks it's okay to partner with a young girl whom he knows is not his match, and that there is a definite power imbalance, is not anybody that we need to be thinking is suitable for partnership with us. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Low integrity, poor character, and I'll say that always, 10 toes.
Yeah, and actually, thinking about self-care, you should take care of yourself and stay away from those men because they're going to make you feel bad about yourself.
Absolutely.
And there's other good ones too. This one says, every post I see where a woman under 23 is with a guy over 40 makes me feel ill. She's no, she's not mature for her age. No, he's not just a kid at heart.
No, he's not.
No, age is not just a number.
It is not.
These assholes all seem to read the same playbook. I'm really sorry. I hope you can get out. You're still very young. I was single mom at your age and found a wonderful age-appropriate man I adore.
Yes, clearly we all know that, but we don't talk about it in a way that we should, especially when we're considering these young girls. And there are times when women, age appropriate, and we have to own this, have an issue with the younger girls, and we should not. We should not, because the problem isn't, they're not the problem. It's that older man that's the problem.
Well,
we don't want those old men anyway.
This one says, my dad was 36 years older than my mom.
That's absurd.
She never left him, just waited for him to die.
Well, that is a thing.
Don't be like her. Go find happiness now while you're still young enough to fully enjoy it.
Another thing that you lose when dating somebody older than that is your rush to grow up. You don't get to grow up in like the normal stages of life. Like at 20, dating somebody who's 31, I'm living a 31-year-old's life. I'm never getting to be a normal 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old. So you also have some experiences robbed from you. So there's a lot that you lose.
This is one. I know a married couple with about a 30-year age gap. There is a power imbalance, but it has shifted over time. Initially, the husband held more power while in his physical and financial prime. Now, however, the husband is elderly and has health concerns, whereas the wife is still relatively young, vigorous, and in control of their relationship.
Yes, that definitely.
They've observed the seesaw power dynamic with age gap marriages. So including one where the woman was older than her partner.
But that's a good point also. But we have talked about that. At some point, the young girl becomes the caretaker to the old man, and that's and then the power does shift then because this old man is feeble.
Yes.
And she's now in control.
This person says, that said, a power imbalance is separate and distinct from maliciousness, exploitation, or bad intent.
Yes.
Some age gap marriages seem to be going strong after decades together. Others appear to be very unhealthy. So I guess it depends on the relationship. But mostly I think if it's a big gap,
power imbalance, and there's exploitation, obviously there's always exceptions. Okay, I'll give you some exceptions, but I would say in majority, there's this exploitation. You have a young girl, 19, 20, who has not had any lived experiences at all, let alone in relationships. And then you have this old man who has all his years of experience, all his years of baggage, and all his years of everything else to exploit this young girl.
If you meet a girl who's 30 or 40, she's going to have loads of baggage, loads of trauma. We don't want to deal with trauma. We want someone with less trauma, so let's go for someone as young as possible. A healthy, emotionally stable 22-year-old is not usually physically attracted to a 45-year-old or even a 40-year-old. A 22-year-old tends to see a 35-year-old as an old man, yeah? But when she starts to blur the line with older men and sexuality, it suggests that there is some childhood trauma potentially regarding her father. Because the reality is, if you had a stable father figure in your home, you wouldn't be able to sexualize a man that looks around the same age as your father. Men who have good relationships with their children as well can't sexualize that kind of woman because they've got children that age, and they know how stupid their children are, and they know how naive their daughters are, and they know how much they would hate it if somebody their age was dating their daughter. So they have a healthy perception of reality. So if that 22-year-old is even dating that 44-year-old, you're thinking, oh, less trauma. It's embedded trauma. The trauma exists pre-men.
This one says, I've been married to a woman who is 17 years older than me for almost 27 years, and I don't feel like our relationship is toxic at all. Is this because the age gap is in the other direction? I feel like there's no power struggle and we align 95% of the time. We have seen the power struggle in our daughter's marriages. Her first husband she met when she was 18,
Good
and
God.
he was in college, and her current husband was in high school when they first dated, and she was in middle school. We separated them originally, but his grip obviously held firm, and they stayed in touch and eventually got together again. Granted, it's not the age gap this was refers to, but I feel her age each time played a part in their relationship toxicity.
Well, those are not great. Those age gaps aren't.
Yeah,
I don't even think they're age gaps. I wouldn't say. But her situation is the 17-year or his.
This person says to the poster, you weren't stupid getting into this, just young. But almost anyone over 30 understands how fucked it is to have an age gap like you had. The older person is usually looking for naivety,
yeah,
and someone docile.
Yeah,
they've convinced the younger person that they are special and so mature. They minimize people's concerns by calling it jealousy, which honestly is one of the few things a 21-year-old might believe because they've been groomed to believe the relationship is special.
Yes.
They're far too young to see the power imbalance. Age gaps matter less when you're over 30, like a 30 and a 50-year-old. Many people in your situation get out by the time they're 30 and old enough to realize the issues. You can too. Be compassionate to yourself. You did the best you could with the maturity you had at the time.
Yes. And that's why that's crazy. And then this old guy is saying, oh, you're so mature for your age.
Oh, yeah.
Pa, please.
This one says, ugh, I was 19, he was 38. I'm now 40 and he's turning 60.
Yes.
I'm climbing out and hoping to be divorced in 3 years. Financial abuse does a number on your ability to leave. Huge power imbalance. He's also mother enmeshed. I wish I could go back and scream at my younger self. Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Yes.
She was 19.
A child, a teenager.
She was 19. She's now 40 and he's turning 60.
Yes. Come on. And now there's an old man sitting over there.
Oh my gosh. That's insane. But that's exactly what we're trying to say. Like, it's not.
And for us, we don't want these men, once that young girl leaves them, we don't want to be dealing with that,
Yeah, and I think that most of the people here say that, if everybody's over 30, it matters less.
Well, I think a 30 and a 50 is still a big.
That's a big difference.
A 30-year-old and a 20,
but at least
a 50-year-old.
I think, though, what the contention is that at least if everybody's over 30, the 30-year-old is a little bit more
more experience, more life experience,
more maturity, and if you're trying to deal with someone that's
19 or 20.
Exactly.
Oh yes,
yes,
most definitely.
There's a little bit less manipulation. I think less.
I agree.
Yeah. In addition to the power imbalance, someday you will be 60, ready to retire, travel, and have a carefree life. He will most likely have health problems and instead expect you to take care of him. I have a few friends married to significantly older men. When you are young, you don't think about that, but it will inevitably happen.
Yes, it will. If you're around when they get older,
that's the thing, though.
Yeah, they're not
that's usually by the time these girls are 60.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking earlier than that.
Exactly. That's more like when they hit 40, like that girl. Or even
earlier. Yeah, I'm thinking earlier.
Yes. So I'm 35 and I can't understand what 21-year-old people say, let alone date them. I have young people on my workforce and it's hard to understand and engage with them. I'm with the people that said that the maturity blink happens at 30.
Yeah.
When my wife and I got together, she was 37, I was 21. I pursued her. She resisted quite a bit before she gave me a chance. That was 30 years ago. Looking back, I can see that I wasn't always mature with how I handled some things. And she wasn't always patient with me when I was going.
Because it was a mother-son dynamic.
Yeah. I don't
know.
That's
20. What the flip?
As somebody says, crucify me, Reddit, but age gap marriages where the woman is older seems to be happier, at least from what I've seen. Double standard, question mark. I don't know.
I don't know that happier for the woman?
I don't know.
How is she?
Or I'm thinking for both is what they're trying to say.
I mean, an age gap, 5 years, okay. Not a 38 and a 21. Absolutely not.
This one says it's also likely a matter of who pursued who. If the older partner is trolling for a teen or early 20s fresh college grad, then they're much more likely to be seeking a relationship where they hold the power. Well, but no, because even then.
So you say, so what 21-year-old is?
There's going to be some young people trolling for older men to support them financially.
The money, but that's unhealthy.
Yes.
So there's not
either way. Either way, it's going to be unhealthy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And either way, there's going to be a power imbalance.
Yes. Either way.
So that's not even.
That doesn't even make sense. And if a 21-year-old or 20 or 19-year-old is after or approaching a 50, 60-year-old, are you serious?
Yeah, no.
Are you serious?
The number one thing that groomers and abusers do is make you think that wise women and your family are the enemy.
Of course.
Yes.
They're just jealous because
they're
you're
jealous.
Young.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Because you're young.
Our love is special.
Yes, and you're so mature for your age. You're so beautiful, and they're not. So that's why they're saying that.
Yes,
that's a grooming tactic. That's what that is.
This one says, I was in an age gap marriage from 2003 to 2016. I was 20 when we met and he was nearly 35. He used me to get sex from a much younger woman, which he felt entitled to because of his porn addiction.
Oh, yep, there you go. The pornography, that's what does it.
He controlled me emotionally and abused me financially in ways I didn't recognize at the time.
Because you're 20. You didn't know
Right.
anything.
Ugh.
That's the whole point.
He was abusive, and eventually he ended up turning it physical a couple times as well.
Yeah.
He cheated on me, wouldn't let me pursue my goals, and didn't help with the kids.
Oh, she had to.
Oh my Lord. I can only speak to my own experience, but I would never get into another age gap relationship again.
Well, how old is
See-
she now?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say.
Oh, I'm just.
But she was 20 when she. Okay, so she was 20 in 2003. So I don't know
okay.
how old.
Yeah,
I
you don't know
don't.
how to do the
I
math.
can't do that. No. But yeah, that's. I think that's the kind of relationship you end up with most often.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when they get older, the women are going to realize
Because they grew
that
up.
they've been used
Because
and
they grew
abused
up.
this whole time.
Yes, because they grew up, and they realized, hey, this is not right.
It seems like young women who get into age gap relationships before their frontal lobe fully develops
Yeah.
are honestly so stubbornly sure of themselves that they not only refuse to listen to reason, but honestly think women trying to save them from themselves are just
Yes.
jealous.
Yes.
When in reality, they were only ever trying to have their cake and eat it too by hooking up with an older, financially stable
Yeah.
man who could provide a quality of life for her that she could never hope to have on her own, while making her feel like a special little unicorn who's no like those other girls. It reminds me of women who get into relationships with narcs, and when
Yes,
people try to warn
narcissists.
them, they insist the other person must be jealous because there
Yes.
can be no other explanation. Again, they want whatever little cookie the narc is dangling in front of them, so they refuse to let anyone distract them going after the treat.
Oh gosh, she got descriptive.
And my personal favorite is women wandering around in left field, engaging in a lot of attention seeking, toxic behavior, truly believe people complaining are just jealous because they are getting their attention needs met.
Yeah.
And all the men preying on them are telling them how amazing they are before effing off to parts unknown when they get bored of having sex with a hot but really toxic girl. Sex is 10 times hotter with the crazy ones, right?
Oh god.
Whoa, that was a big rant. I don't know.
She is
Oh.
unloading for
Oopsie.
some reason.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
that got
She unloaded.
that got a lot.
She unloaded.
But yes. So
Yes.
thoughts on that?
I just like we have another perspective. You know, we have the woman that's been in the marriage for a while, and now she's saying, wait, I grew up, and now I'm thinking
Yes.
differently, like a mature person, and now I see this is crazy. How could I have done this?
Yeah. And I think they're really fooling themselves if they think that older man is going to be better and more mature and helping out with kids more, because I think it might be the opposite from what, and
Yeah.
like she was saying, he didn't help out with the kids at all.
I don't think
Like-
they're even thinking about kids in the moment.
That's what I'm
They're
saying.
not even
But
thinking
that's
about
exactly
that.
what
'Cause
I'm
they don't
saying.
know
Like,
it.
I don't
even think about that.
Yeah, I don't even think that's.
Yeah, they're not thinking
a
about
thing.
anything.
But
like
I
that.
don't think that those older men are going to be helping out with kids anymore. Especially, well, maybe financially, but definitely not in a parental.
Yeah, participatory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not in that way.
But those young girls aren't thinking about that. You know, they're just thinking that, especially the ones now. I mean, there's, and I believe this, that the young girls that are even entertaining being in partnership with this old man are, and I know, and I say this, and I'm standing on the sex workers, number one, and then you have the girls that are have some type of, not mental health issue, but emotional issues, things like that. Those girls with no support at home.
Yes.
Those girls fall into that. And then you have the girls that are just looking for the resources, pure and simple, looking for the resources.
Yeah.
So neither one of those girls is a healthy situation. Not one of these different types of girls are healthy. It's not a healthy situation. And that guy is going to exploit either. He don't care which one. He's just looking for the 19 or 20-year-old. But it's not healthy. No matter how you slice it, it's not healthy. And I'm just going to say, maybe there are exceptions, because maybe there are. Maybe. But I know they're few and far between, because nothing is healthy about any of those groups.
I think sometimes they do try to impregnate them fast because they want to
control them
and keep them. Yes. And that's going to make a woman more likely to stick around.
Yes.
Because now you have the kids to think about, and
I'm going to keep saying, like the one guy that I met, who he was 35, and he met an 18-year-old, but they didn't marry her until she was 19. And he told her, "You're not leaving here with my child."
Yes.
And so she was from another country. She didn't speak the language that well. So what was she going to do? She had to stay. So that's how they control. Definitely, they need to get them pregnant right away, because then they have control. You have a child to hold hostage, and I believe that's what they do.
Yeah, and they and now they're holding them hostage financially, because of the kids, et cetera, et cetera. So
so definitely, I believe that 100%.
And if they're that young, they haven't gotten their education yet. They're trying to get them pregnant before they even get their education done, their career settled. So, they're in that.
Right. So they can be dependent upon
them.
And they're not getting an education.
Yeah.
They're not going to college. They're not letting these young girls go to college. I think the one that posted in the thing, I thought it said something about, one of them said something about not going to college or something like that. But no, they're not. If they go to college.
But that they were trying to, and that he kept her from her goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if they go to college, then they're going to be around young guys, young college guys. They can't have that.
That's right.
So they're definitely not going to college. The guy that I was talking about that I had met, his 18, 19-year-old wife didn't go to college. Why wouldn't she be allowed to go to college?
Yes.
Why wouldn't she? No, because then she would
inevitably find
a young college
age appropriate guy. Yep.
Yes, and then she would have her own mind, and go this level of maturity would increase. But no, hold them hostage in the home.
Yeah.
Keep control over them. Keep them in that mindset. Don't let them grow up. So it is. It's diabolical, and I know I'm that's my word. Diabolical, nasty work. Diabolical, nasty work.
Yeah,
it is.
So let us know what you guys think about this, especially about, age gaps when it comes to marriages.
Yes.
And how that works. Now, I know that there's a whole Reddit or subreddit, I think you call it, that's all about age gap marriages, which is crazy, because I've seen some of the pictures that they post, and it's like, it looks like the daughter with the father, and they're like, "Oh, aren't we cute looking?" I'm like, man, all I see is dad and
grandfather and granddaughter.
Yes. Yeah. So, but in that subreddit, they also don't allow you to say anything negative. So
because they know that's what that is about. No one is going to.
You're not allowed to.
So no one's going to say anything. It's just going to all be the false.
Yeah, they're going to
narratives.
So cute.
Yeah, it's going to be the false narratives, because everybody knows that there's something wrong with all of that.
And I think most of the one I'm talking about, everybody was posting like, lucky guy. Yeah, lucky guy, because he's he's taking advantage of this.
Right, and the guys that are stating that obviously are doing the same thing, and they consider that to be a lucky guy, and all of those men would not be suitable for any type of partnership with any age appropriate woman.
So they have their own community.
Yes, they stay in it and deal with that.
Yeah.
that's that.
Yep. So,
and I guess,
yeah.
That is it.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of our subscribers, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Give us a thumbs up. We are
there it is.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook,
Twitter, formerly known as Twitter,
X, and Instagram.
Yes.
And TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
TikTok.
And until next time, don't forget to live,
laugh,
and connect.
There it is. Bye.